In this lesson of the tutorial, we're going to go ahead and create all of our jelly bean shaders that we'll need to apply to our object meshes inside of Maya. As you can see here, these are all of our default folders that come with Fryrender's material editor or the random control material editor, except for this one here, which is a folder with my name on it. And if you go to this location and create a folder, that's how you get a folder inside of the material editor itself. So let's go ahead and get started creating our jelly bean shaders. This is pretty much going to be very simple, so all we're going to do here is come over here to our material preview, and we're just going to use the general material test room, which will be a ball and 2 planes. So let's go ahead and click the start preview render, and you will see what it's going to come up gray and pretty grainy. To adjust the quality of this, we would just, adjust the quality slider here to whatever we want. Maximum is 500, but for now let's just go ahead and keep this at like 150. And then let's go ahead and change the color of this ball. And to do that, we want to come over here to the reflectance tab, click on this little RGB color palette, and we'll go ahead and change this to say something like orange, and then just go ahead and click in here, and you can go ahead and move this to wherever you want. I want it to be, say, a little darker, and that should be okay. Let's go ahead and do another preview test render. This is going to take a little bit longer as I've changed the quality up to 150. Okay, now that you see that it's completely rendered out, you can see that the quality of the material and of the test render is actually a little better here. But if you still can't see this, that well in the video, don't worry about it, because I'm going to enlarge it whenever I go to, do our final render for our material to see it. Now that we have, the base color here set, we want to add like a plastic coating or a candy shell coating to it. So what we want to do is come down here to the thin film tab, just open it up, and instead of no coating or the thin film coating, which would be like glass or something, let's go ahead and do the plastic coating and set the thickness of the plastic down to, say, maybe 200 should be okay. And I'm gonna open this up here, and I'll do a test render, but I'm going to pause the video while I go ahead and do the test render, because this is going to take a little bit longer since the window's been enlarged. And then I'll come back once it's fully rendered out and you can take a look at it. Okay, now that you can see that our jelly bean texture for one of them has been completely rendered out, and this is actually pretty good. I'm fairly happy with this. So what I want to do is click accept, and once I go ahead and click accept, that you will see that this image will actually replace this image here, as you can see there. Now if we want to go ahead and say save this in our material library, which is inside my folder, first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and name this so that we know exactly what it is and for the project that we're working on. So let's click this yellow and black checkered box here and name this orange jelly bean. Something very cryptic so that we know what it applies to. And now we want to go ahead and save this. So what we want to do is we want to click this button here, which is our Save FRM Material button. It'll pop up this window here, and then you can just browse for the folder, which is basically, it'll link specifically to our folder. So let's just go ahead and say orange, same thing, jelly bean. Click save, and then you can see it'll save here. But what's even more neat is if we go ahead and once we save this material, let's say that we want to make changes to whether it's the roughness here, and then we can basically do whatever we want in here. Say change either the gamma, or we can change the checker map, or we can add noise into it. we can go ahead and do that. And then just, if we did that and then, re-rendered in our test preview render, we could just come up here and click the save in the library, and it would automatically overwrite the material. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Is since we have our orange, let's go ahead and make our, say, like lime green. Do another preview render, and you can see that this is going to be our lime green jelly bean. It's rendering. And there it goes, it's finished. Let's go ahead and click this button again and name this green jelly bean. As you can see, it'll save it there. Let's go ahead and make our blue one. What shader of blue do we want? Let's go with, that should look okay. Let's do another preview test render here. I'm fairly happy with that as it looks right there. Even though you can see the extreme white speck here, but that's okay. That's just going to mean that when our lights hit it, it's going to actually give off some specular highlight to our jelly beans, and that's what we want. So let's go ahead and save this too as our blue jelly bean. Let's go ahead and make one say red, or a shade of red if we can. Or you can choose from a preset over here, which should be like that. So let's go ahead and use one of the presets. Do another preview test render and save it, and we'll call this our red jelly bean once it finishes. Come up here and hit the save button again and go red jelly bean. Hit save, and then there you go. I mean, we have our 4 jelly bean textures made fairly simply and fairly quickly. And then in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and apply these jelly bean textures to our meshes inside of Maya, and we'll apply our glass shaders to our models and our light emitter shaders to our light planes, so that we can actually have some light in our scene.